Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, and I am bringing you another audio commentary. This time, we're going to be following some of the top foreigner players in the world. That's right, the non-Korean players, the top foreigners. I'm going to be following them for the next couple of days throughout some of the early rounds of the TSL, the Team Liquid Star League. So, just in case you guys are not as familiar with the foreigner scene, maybe aren't as familiar with this Star League in general, I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of what you can expect, what the format is, some of the players involved, that types of thing, especially as they are involved in this game. Just in case you guys possibly do know a little bit, at least on your own, we do have Dreiven here in the top left, the teal Protoss, and Nyoken, the Terran player, here in the top right in yellow. Now, the Team Liquid Star League is the biggest foreigner tournament in the world. This is going to be the second edition. Last year it was the Razor Star League. This year it's being sponsored by PokerStrategy.com, and they have over $20,000 worth of prizes. That's right, $20,000. $10,000 going to the first place winner, and a whole lot of other prizes going to everyone else who qualifies into at least the top 16. Now, the way this works is that we're going to have 48 players who qualified through the ladder program. Just on iCup, the top 48 players on the ladder would advance to this stage, advance to the group stages, and the bottom half, 25 through 48, will play each other, and that's where Nyoken and Dreiven are right now in the first round of qualifiers, and the winners in best of threes would go on and face the middle 12 players, the 13 through 24, and the winners of those best of threes or best of fives, I can't remember right now off the top of my head, would go on to play the top 12 players from the ladder, 1 through 12, and in best of 5 series, and the winner of those, the 12 players, would advance into the top 16, which is the true TSL, the true Star League, and they would be joined by the top 4 players from last year, actually technically the top 3 players from last year, as well as the ladder number 1, which was Idra, the first ranked player versus Idra, and Noni would play. Noni was number 4 last year in the Razor Star League, so the two of them would play off, Noni and Idra, and the winner of them will advance into the Star League, and the loser of them will be in that number 1 spot as far as the groups go. So that's how you would get to your top 16, but here we have Nyoken and Dreiven. They are in the bottom half of the ladder standing, so we're going to have a nice TVP here, a best of 3 series. This first game is going to be on Fighting Spirit. And yeah, the winner of this will go on into that second round, the second round of qualification. So it's going to be very, very important that either of these players gets off to an early lead here in Fighting Spirit, just to try and put their opponent on the back foot as they're trying to come back in the series necessarily from maybe on some of the other maps. Destination, I think New Tornado are the other 2 maps. And we got Nyoken here going with a pretty audacious strategy here, not throwing down any gas or anything, going straight for the command center. 1 racks into CC. That is very much a TVZ build that's being used here versus his Protoss opponent. And we do have Dreiven coming in here. The Protoss player has come in and scouted this out. Now, Dreiven is one of the top Protoss players in the foreigner scene. He is on the team Mouse Sports. And they were formerly ESC. You may have heard of them before. They are one of the top teams in the European and on iCup. They are very, very powerful, full of players that just win a lot of foreigner tournaments and are very, very popular in the foreigner leagues, from Cole, Ghosta, Straylock, White-Ra, Mana, IF. The list goes on and on. Every member of Mouse Sports, in terms of the 1v1 players, every single member is in this Star League, so that is very, very important to note. That they have a very, very powerful team, lots of good practice partners here. And Nyoken pushing out here with a few of his Marines, gonna try and, I don't know, I think he maybe needs to get back to that bunker. Doesn't want to lose too many of these Marines, losing 1 already. Could lose a second Marine before this bunker goes in. Liz gonna lose a second Marine, so that's pretty bad for Nyoken right now. He really needs this bunker to be full of units just to stop any sort of scout, stop any sort of run by. And now what we're gonna see is Draven's probably going to put on some pressure here. We do have to see the second gateway coming down, as well as Range researching at the cybernetics core. So what he's going to do is he's going to position his Dragoons in this area right here, and as soon as Range finishes, he'll be able to outrange the Marines in this bunker, and we'll start seeing Dragoon shots being fired at this bunker, and Nyoken will be forced to pull off SCVs to repair this bunker until he can get a tank out. He needs to get this refinery up and running, needs to get this factory up and running, a machine shop, needs to start getting some tanks out in order to defend this. And we'll see how much pressure Dreiven decides to put on, whether he puts, it looks like he's going to go at least 5 Dragoons. We'll see if he goes more than that, or if he just sticks with his 5 Dragoons and then throws down his Nexus. If he does decide to go with more of a pressure build, we could see more of a pressure build, but most likely we're going to see these initial 5 Dragoons, and then it will evolve into a Dreiven taking his next base, And if Dreiven's not able to do too much damage here, we do see Nyoken here defending that bunker. Maybe needs to get a third SCV. There's the third SCV, and that should be enough to hold off the bunker, and he can just bring on more SCVs as needed. And Draven's going to need to put on, make sure that this contained either does some damage or does a really good job of stopping any sort of vulture play. Make sure that he gets a good scout on what Nyoken's doing. He doesn't want Nyoken to get away with this 2-base strategy. He doesn't want him to get a base up for too long here. We do have the machine shop finish. Should probably be seeing siege tech finish up pretty soon here. We have the vulture popping out. 2 factories up already for Nyoken. So Nyoken's economy right now is in really, really good shape. As long as he produces SCVs and keeps harvesting off of these 2 bases, he'll be in a really, really good spot to make a push out eventually as this game goes on. We do see Dreiven is throwing down a Nexus as well. And, yeah, he's probably going to need to either throw down a third base, or he might have to do some sort of other strategy. If he throws down possibly a robotics facility, we could be seeing something like a Bulldog out of this build, something like that. But it looks like right now he's content to just sit here with his Dragoons and pepper all of these buildings. Look like the supply depot's starting to get here, too. And he might actually be able to start picking out some of these SCVs, so nice pressure going on here by Dreiven, outranging that bunker, and he'll be able to do this until a tank is able to finish its siege mode. We do see the tank out there, able to range that Dragoon and do some damage, and Dreiven needs to micro this Dragoon. They need to keep it back, taking a lot of damage on that Dragoon, actually, but I'm still able to keep maintaining the pressure on this bunker. How far is siege mode? Siege mode is completed right now, so we should be seeing this tank siege up any second now. There it is. And now the Dragoons are all going to back off. There's just nothing they can do at this point. We're going to see Dreiven pull back. Oh, no, he's not going to pull back. He's going to charge forward here, see if he can try and range this tank and try and pick it off. He's trying to right now, but he needs to focus down the tank. And Nyoken with a good play there, unsieging that tank and pulling it back again. Going to be able to pick off a couple more Dragoons if Dreiven decides to keep on this pressure. And it looks like he is going to keep on this pressure. And Nyoken with those siege tanks kind of back a little bit, actually not able to range these Dragoons. So these Dragoons actually doing a whole lot of damage here. Dreiven really taking advantage of his map. He really knows this map very, very well. Apparently knew exactly that he could just pressure these siege tanks back and he'd be in good shape to do this kind of a continued pressure build. So very good play there by Dreiven. Now he's going to be able to sneak these Dragoons back if he wants to. And yeah, he'll be able to really start picking out some of these SCVs, taking out pretty much the entire advantage that Nyoken had through this has been pretty much nullified through this attack. We do see the third Nexus coming down right now for Dreiven, and no second gas yet. Note that there's no second gas yet. We do have a robotics facility coming down, so we could be seeing, this could be for observers. More likely it's going to be for a shuttle, probably going to try and get some shuttle play out here, try and land some zealots up onto this ridge and try and do kind of a late Bulldog here. Now these the Dragoons actually need to be very, very careful as they are being able to do, wow, this is some great play by Dreiven. This is some fantastic micro out of here, actually. He's losing a lot of Dragoons, but he stopped all of the mining here for a really extended period of time, and he's really putting the pressure on Nyoken. Nyoken's been forced to continuously produce tanks. Note that he hasn't produced a single vulture. Note that he hasn't have any vulture upgrades right now, so he's in a really bad spot in terms of that. And he's going to lose a tank right here. We're probably going to lose the second tank as well. The second tank is going to go down. Going to be able to back off with these Dragoons and continue to maintain the pressure. This command center is at risk. Absolutely is at risk. This command center may go down. If that command center goes down, Nyoken may just have to GG, because that would just be too much. Although we do see a couple extra tanks coming out here off of the 2 machine shops now. So yeah, these 2 tanks should be able to finally clear up. But Dreiven did a lot of damage here, and he is still able to macro up, doing a couple probe transfers here. We do see some more Dragoons out. We see the Citadel of Dune. Probably we'll see a Templar Archives as soon as he gets the money, as soon as he macros up again. And this push has been fought off by Nyoken, but Nyoken took a lot of damage there. The economic advantage he had of going from that 1 Rax into C has been pretty much nullified at this point. He's been forced to get up, he's getting his comm sets up right now. Probably really wants to see if Dreiven has expanded again. That's going to be really important for him to know. And where he's expanded, how many times he's expanded. We got a couple more gateways coming up, a Stargate and a Templar Archive. So this is going to be a 3-base Arbiter build, and the comset station is finished. Let's see where he decides to scan first. And I didn't actually catch it. I didn't actually catch where it went. It might have gone for that 3rd base there. And it looks like Dreiven is just moving out his Dragoons right now. Should Nyoken foolishly, in my opinion, should Nyoken foolishly push out here and Dreiven scouted out, these Dragoons would be able to do some sort of a pincer attack. But Nyoken is not going to make that kind of a mistake in this position. He's just going to continue to turtle up. We'll see if he throws down an armory soon. No, he's going to go down 4 more facts. So this is going to be a 6-factory push from Nyoken. He'll have 2 factories pumping tanks as much as possible. He'll have 4 factories producing vultures, and probably needs to get those vulture upgrades pretty soon if he didn't already get them while I was looking at Nyoken's base. He's going to need those as soon as he can in order to make this push more effective. We do have the 5th and 6th gateways going up right now for Dreiven, along with an Arbiter Tribunal. So 6-factory push versus 3-base Arbiter play here from Dreiven. It depends when Nyoken is going to be able to push out. He doesn't have as many forces as he was probably hoping he would have for this time, considering that early push. So We'll see when he has enough forces, if he decides to go for upgrades at all. Probably isn't at this point, getting the dual machine shop upgrades for his vultures. So if, depending upon what he pushes out, we'll see whether or not Dreiven actually has those arbiters with stasis up and ready at this point. We do have the arbiter tribunal finished. Not enough gas at this point to quite start producing it. We do have the third assimilator up, needs to start harvesting gas out of that. There it is. Draven's all over it. And Dreiven looks like he's actually possibly setting up for a fourth base, and this is a really good strategy to go for this fourth base normally against a turtle Terran, just because you can try and force your opponent to attack different locations, and as long as you're able to defend against vultures, you're in a pretty good shape. But we do see Nyoken pushing out here pretty early at this point, maybe trying to take advantage of this double expansion by Nyoken. Going to try and put on some early pressure. I don't know if he's going to have too much success. He might be able to set up a contain. If he's able to set up a contain, he'll be in a good spot here. We do have an observer out, so mines aren't going to be too efficient. The first tank being picked off there with minimal casualties to Draven's forces. Draven doing a good job here of picking off tanks here early on, picking off a second tank. Might be able to pick off a third here if he focuses fires. Yeah, actually looks like he's actually splitting up a lot of his fire here, but he's got Dragoons coming in from the back, and